This is 9 News.
Hi there. Well, we are getting a live look over Vail Pass this morning. Snow falling just a little bit, but things are moving on the roads, and that's after a pretty rough night. There were so many wrecks last night. The Colorado State Patrol had to close this section of I-70 in both directions. But here in Denver, it's looking pretty nice right now. The sun is shining. It's out. We're happy to see it. Pretty calm out there as well. Don't be fooled, though. More snow is on the way. It is a theme that we're kind of getting used to. We do want to bring in meteorologist Danielle Grant to tell us more about when the snow is going to be headed our way, but you wouldn't be able to tell looking at that shot.
I know. What storm? Are you sure about this one? Yes, it is going to be pushing into the area later on this afternoon. It's already up there in Fort Collins and Greeley. You guys are starting to see a little bit of snowfall, maybe some light rain starting to push in, and all of that will be pushing down here to the Denver metro area. Looking out there across the city, just gorgeous conditions. We do have a bit of blue sky out there, and certainly up to the north, that's where this storm system really is sitting along I-25 into Wyoming, Cheyenne, picking up on the heaviest snowfall. We are looking at some extremely gusty winds out there. So if you do have any travel along I-80, it's going to be messy, and it's just slowly starting to push into Larimer and Weld counties. Again, might see a little bit of rain before it fully transitions, just because our temperatures pretty mild out there. We're still sitting in the 40s up and down the I-25 corridor. So again, this evening, I promise it's coming. We're going to cool off our temperatures and be looking at a little bit of snowfall for that evening drive. So it might be a little tricky. I know this morning was easy, but the drive home might be tough. I'll go over that, plus snow totals, and then we have another round coming in tomorrow.
Are we going to get some more round of sunshine and warmer temperatures too
Oh,
at some
I got
point?
that. I got that too for you.
It's like this little roller coaster that we're just riding as we go. All right. Thanks, Danielle. We'll talk to you in a bit. All right, well, authorities in Switzerland have suspended their search for Harrison Fast. He is an extreme sports enthusiast from Boulder. Fast was in the Alps with some friends when he went missing while speed flying. That's basically when you launch yourself from a slope and then use a parachute to fly close to the ground. This happened on Saturday. Extensive air and ground searches went on for about 3 days before bad weather and dangerous terrain forced authorities to postpone their efforts yesterday. Fast's family not giving up, though. They have set up a fundraising account on youcaring.com to raise money for the search and rescue mission. A hiker in Chaffee County came across something unexpected and disturbing out on the trail this morning. While looking for antler sheds in Trout Creek Pass, the hiker found human remains. Authorities are now trying to figure out who those remains belong to and how that person died. Investigators are treating the death as a homicide. The scene is currently sealed off while the investigation continues to be ongoing. The Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help in finding a man they believe is responsible for a string of robberies. The Sheriff's Office sent out these photos of 35-year-old Nicholas Cantanillo. Deputies believe that he broke into the Safeway Pharmacy on East Smoky Hill Road earlier this month. If you know where he is, you're asked to call the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office. Jefferson County residents are being told to be on the lookout for mountain lions. Activity has been reported in the North Table Mountain area. 9 News reporter Colleen Ferreira has more on this.
There is that concern of mountain lion activity happening in some of the Jefferson County open spaces, and that's why they just want you to be concerned. You don't need to be afraid, but just know that there is a possibility that you could see something unusual, and you should go ahead and report that. Most recently, they saw a mountain lion kill site here on North Table Mountain. Sunday morning, a visitor coming to the park early morning just saw a deer carcass off to the side of the trail. So I want to bring in Marianne Bunnell with Jefferson County Open Space. Thank you so much for being with us, Marianne. You know, you've had 3 of these happen over the past couple months. Where are they happening in the parks?
So it varies. A lot of times animals will use the existing trail just because it's easier to travel on. So when our visitors discover these kill sites, oftentimes they're close to a trail because that's where our visitors are too. But honestly, hunting, wildlife hunting can happen anywhere in our parks, and we expect it to happen anywhere in our parks.
You have curfew times at your parks that people really should obey because it's for their own safety.
Yes, our curfew exists for 2 reasons. One is that we want animals to have a chance to do their natural behaviors in our parks. Our parks are very busy. The other piece is that it's a visitor safety issue, and we really do want people to be safe and enjoy the parks at a time where we feel like we can have emergency response and that they don't have a greater chance of running into an apex predator doing its job hunting.
So our viewers right now are looking at video of North Table Mountain Park where the latest deer carcass was found. Another one was found Apex Park and another one Windy Saddle. These are all popular areas very close to one another. What should people do if they see something?
So the first thing you should know is it's extremely unusual for a mountain lion to show up in a busy situation with lots of people around. They tend to be very reclusive animals. They don't favor being around people. So that's the first thing. The second thing, if you do see a mountain lion, there's some very simple things you can do to protect yourself. One is you want to stand your ground and make yourself look big. Do not turn your back. Do not run away. It's kind of contrary to what your brain wants to do.
Of course,
absolutely.
Tells me to run, but
Absolutely.
don't run and turn your back.
Don't run and don't turn your back. You need to stand your ground. You want to do anything you can do to make yourself not appear to be prey. If you've got a child, grab their hand so they don't run. If they're really small, bring them up into your arms. Your dog should be on a leash at all times anyway, but if your dog's on a leash, get that leash closer to you so your pet is right next to you or in your arms. If you've got like a walking stick or a mountain bike or something that you can use to enhance or exaggerate your size, you know, even swing around, that's going to make a big difference. Shouting, and then if you can, sort of extract yourself as you're doing this, backing away slowly.
Backing away
so
slowly.
You're giving that animal the space it wants to feel comfortable, and you're sort of extracting yourself from that situation.
Thank you so much, Marianne. You know, guys, these are really good points to take with you, especially as the weather gets nicer. We're going to be out here for hikes or for walks. You can call the number on the bottom of your screen if you have any concerns, if you see anything really suspicious. That will go directly to the Jefferson County Open Space Park Rangers, and they'll know how to handle it from there. In Golden, I'm Colleen Ferreira, 9 News.
All right, good reminder, Colleen. Thank you. We are learning new details about the man authorities say hijacked an Egyptian plane while wearing a fake explosive belt. Authorities say that he was an extensive criminal record. It includes forgery, burglary, and drug dealing. Surveillance video shows him breezing through the airport security because his explosive belt was fake. An Egyptian foreign ministry officials telling the media, quote, "He is not a terrorist, he is an idiot," end quote. 72 passengers were on board, including 8 Americans. The hijacker eventually surrendered. Just a reminder, tolls start today on Highway 36 from Denver to Boulder. Solo drivers will have to pay a toll to travel in the fast lanes. The tolls range from $1.75 to $9.35 depending on the time of day, the amount of traffic, and whether drivers have a toll pass. Carpoolers are exempt from the toll but do need to have one of those transponders inside of their vehicle. And it is that time of year again. Springtime means street sweeping starting Friday. You'll need to make sure that you move your car on certain sides of the street once a month. Street sweeping begins in April and then runs through November. Red and white signs posted on residential and city streets do have the schedules posted, so be sure to keep an eye on the times and days of the week. Vehicles blocking the way will get a $50 ticket, and nobody wants that. Well, it's something that we really don't think about, but it can make a big difference for our safety. A recent study of 30 mid-sized car headlights found that only one of them had the rating of good. Now, that's the Toyota Prius V. The Prius was able to illuminate a straight roadway enough to see a pedestrian or any obstacle up to 387 feet away. That's according to the study released today by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. Out of the remaining 29 vehicles looked at, a third were rated acceptable, and the other 2/3 were either marginal or poor. So among the worst, the halogen headlights in the BMW 3 Series. They were only able to light up 128 feet ahead. About half of traffic deaths happen at night when visibility is lower. The spotlight will be on the cast of Newsies for several more days.
Nothing can break us, no one can make us quit before we're done.
And they're performing the Tony Award-winning musical at the Buell Theater. We have some cast members that you just may recognize here in our studio coming up in just a few minutes. But first, beautiful morning out there today, but can you feel it? Changes in the air. That's right, we're about to get hit with yet another round of snow. Danielle has more on that coming up.
Well, just as all the snow has melted here in the 9 backyard, maybe in your backyard too, we're looking at another storm pushing in tonight and tomorrow as well, bringing us another little blanket of white around here. I want to take you on a quick tour of some of our web cameras. I'll start up in the high country. This is out there at Winter Park. Skiers, snowboarders enjoying a little bit of fresh powder up there. And this is also the view out there in Fort Collins, where you can see the storm system that's pushing in from the north. It really is affecting parts of Wyoming the worst. However, it will be sinking to the south over the course of the next couple of hours. Stunning views in downtown Denver. Run your errands while you can, while the roads are dry and the sun is out. We're at 47 degrees out at DIA, mostly sunny skies. The winds out of the north-northeast only 5 miles per hour, but we are waiting for a cold front to dig in. That's going to kick up the winds quite a bit and certainly drop our temperatures. Here in the 9 backyard, our temperature readings right there at about 42 degrees. Later this afternoon, again, everyone kind of seeing those temperatures peaking in the 40s, mid to upper 40s, and then slowly cooling off as the afternoon rolls on and as that cold front really pushes in here to the metro area. You can see on HD Doppler 9 the storm system really coming in across northern Colorado right now. Larimer as well as Weld County, you guys are starting to see just the beginning signs of this storm system. Some snow, a little bit of rain, just because our temperatures still are actually fairly mild. We'll get that push as that cold front rolls through the area, and that'll help knock down our temperatures and really help switch all of that rain that we see to snow. We do have winter weather advisories out posted for the northern western mountains out there, and then parts of Fort Collins and into Greeley. Looks like about 2 to 4 inches tops for you guys, and certainly around Wyoming. They are just covered in travel advisories. Everywhere you see in red is going to be a winter weather warning out there. So just kind of keep that in mind if you are doing any traveling or just have neighbors up there, friends, family. You might want to give them a buzz, because it certainly is going to be messy. Here you can see on our futurecast the storm system really pushing through the area. 5 o'clock, it's going to be around the region, everything pushing from the north to the south. By 10 o'clock, things wind down. It'll be a dry beginning for a lot of us, but tomorrow, much cooler, the winds kicking up, and yet another little round, another piece of energy that pushes in here to the Denver metro area right there at about lunchtime. And then, like today, it all shifts further out to the south. So again, tonight, that snow will be ending, but don't get excited. It's going to be coming back for tomorrow. Around the metro area, the amounts really don't look all that impressive. A couple of inches tops. We'll call it a day, and then we'll bring back the sunshine. Friday, Saturday, wow, we fly back to the 60s on Sunday and Monday. All right, I got to show you this. Next Tuesday, it's going to be a scorcher. We'll be right back.
Dozens of criminals locked up for drug-related offenses will soon be out. President Obama is commuting the prison sentences of 61 people serving time. The White House counsel says more than a third of the inmates were serving life sentences. The president's commutation significantly shortens their sentences. Most of them will be released on July 28th, and all of the inmates are serving time for drug possession, intent to sell, or other related crimes. Most are non-violent offenders, although a few were also charged with firearm violations. A seemingly divided Supreme Court is exploring a possible compromise ruling on birth control. At issue, the dispute between faith-based groups and the Obama administration over birth control. Without Justice Antonin Scalia, who passed away last month, there are only 8 justices. So the Supreme Court is exploring a possible compromise ruling in the 4-4 stalemate. Another option is to leave the issue unsettled until a 9th justice is confirmed to take Scalia's place. A new report looks at the tremendous financial burden placed on those who help take care of Alzheimer's patients. Dr. John joins me now. And Dr. John, we're talking about the toll that it takes on caregivers, which oftentimes falls in the responsibility of family members.
Exactly. And that's a lot of things that people don't think about, that the family members are the ones that usually end up doing this. And it does have a big toll. As a matter of fact, the total national cost of caring for those with Alzheimer's and dementia is expected to skyrocket over the next few years. They think this thing is going to be unbelievably expensive, especially by the time we get to 2050, where by 2050 they think we're going to have over 16 million people with Alzheimer's, and that cost is going to be over in the $1 trillion range. But beyond that, it's also the cost of family members medically, psychologically, emotionally, trying to take care of their one caregiver, their main loved one. And experts say that the time is now a lot longer before these things start setting in order to go ahead and prepare financially for these types of things.
So how are people able to pay for this? I mean, can be a huge financial burden.
Right, and the main thing is to just go ahead and start saving now. If you you think something like this might happen in the future, or even if you don't think something like this might happen in the future, because again, they're estimating by 2050, this thing is going to explode. 5 million now, 16 million by 2050. It's going to triple in the number of people with Alzheimer's, and it's not just the person with Alzheimer's, but it's those that are affected by it, the family members in particular.
Yeah, and that's really another point that we should be talking about, is that when you take on a responsibility like this, if you're a family member, if you're a friend taking care of your loved one with Alzheimer's, there is an impact on their health as well.
There is an impact on their health and on their savings account too. It turns out a lot of people that care for somebody with Alzheimer's are dipping into their savings account. They're selling their cars. They're going without groceries.
Wow.
They're going without health care because they're taking care of somebody with Alzheimer's. And here are some of the statistics. 2/3 of the caregivers are women. 1/3 of them are greater than 65 years old. And so they themselves are into their senior years trying to take care of this. 60% report high stress levels and 40% have depression. These are just the caregivers that are taking care of somebody with Alzheimer's. And so again, that's the new thing, is people are starting to look at caregivers, how we can take care of them so they can take care of somebody with Alzheimer's.
Yeah, I know we'll be talking about this for quite some time, but really, it's
It
difficult.
is. And there is no cure right now for Alzheimer's. There's
Right.
no real way to prevent it, no real way to discover who's going to get it. And so hopefully those will be the things that come along, and we get those, especially that cure, which would be the holy grail of medicine, to find that cure.
Absolutely.
And if we do,
Absolutely.
then that can hopefully take care of some of these things.
All right, Dr. John, we always appreciate your insight on
you
this.
bet.
Thank you. And you better lace up your dancing shoes, switching gears, because some of the actors from the Newsies are in the house. We'll be joining with them next.
I'm the king of New York. Suddenly, I'm respectable, staring right at your house with special glory paint. I'm the king of New York.
Ah, yes, inspired by the real-life newsboy strike of 1899, Newsies is the musical Broadway hit, one that you've likely heard of, and it is here in all of its entertaining glory at the Buell Theater right now. And we are lucky enough to have two cast members here today. We have Steven Hernandez and Michael Gorman. Guys, it's so nice to have you back in Colorado. I know that you both have friends, you both have ties here. How's it being back?
It's been great. You know, we get to see family, get to see old friends. It's a lot of fun.
It was your birthday.
It was my birthday, yes, last week.
Like, welcome home. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
And I know, Michael, you have ties back here 20 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah.
How is it being back?
It's great being back. It's developed. I can't believe how much the town has changed. Most of the places that I worked are no longer here. Some of them are. I worked at Heritage Square. That's originally brought me out. I was in the first company of a chorus line that came through here and played the auditorium in 1970. And Denver Center, and it's great to be back. It's such a beautiful place, and it's so supportive of the arts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And Steven, you trained with the Colorado Ballet.
I did. I trained with the Academy of Colorado Ballet first, and then I joined the company for an apprenticeship for a year, and danced at a few different companies around Denver, and got to teach at a few different studios too. So.
And this is a Tony Award-winning musical. Talk about the show. I mean, I hear that it's super high energy. I've yet to see it. I'm super excited to see it on my days off next week. But just sort of talk about the feel of this show.
I mean, it's a total underdog story, so I feel like everyone can really relate. It's this generation of kids that decide that, they can stand up and really fight for themselves.
And I understand that you call yourself the oldsies of the Newsies. So, and I understand. I think I read that you were a newspaper delivery boy at one point.
Yeah.
So you can relate to this story.
Yeah. I started as a newsboy delivery person when I was a kid, and then I opted either that or go to mass. So.
Which one am I going to do?
Yeah. We also used to have this postman in our neighborhood who would pay us $0.25 to run all the mail up to the houses for it. He just walked out the street with the mail thing. It was probably very illegal.
Yeah. See, another rubbing your mouth going, yeah, whatever.
But, yeah.
Yeah, and so you guys, I mean, this is going on until April 9th.
April 9th,
and this is really something that is family friendly.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I often say this, it's not only grooming our next generation of performers, it's grooming our next generation of audience members. It's bringing in a whole new crowd. We call them fansies.
Yep.
Fansies!
Yes, yeah. We have newsies, fansies, oldies, girlsies.
Yeah, just add the IES after it, everything, and it makes it better.
Yeah.
Well, we so appreciate you guys being here,
Thank
Steve
you.
and Michael. I mean, we're so excited to see you on stage, and thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
having us. Thank you.
Well, we did mention that Disney's Newsies is on stage for April 9th at the Buell Theater. Tickets start at $25. We do have all of this information online at 9news.com. We'll be right back. So this gives new meaning to sleeping with fishes or sharks. Airbnb is offering 3 people the chance to stay overnight in a glass room at a Paris aquarium for free.
No,
the room,
thanks.
the room features a 360-degree transparent wall, and of course, it's all decked out in shark decor, because why not?
Yeah.
You have to be 18 or older to enter to win and be in good health. You can apply on Airbnb's website by April 3rd. That would be really cool. I think that would be really cool.
Would you do it?
Yes, I would do it.
I don't
but I'm
know if
also
I
a big
would.
scuba diver, and you know,
Okay.
I'm kind of a fish in general.
So-
then you would have nightmares about that for a while, sleeping with sharks around.
I can't even imagine. No, thank you.
We don't have that issue here, though.
No.
We don't have that issue. It's
landlocked.
beautiful out
It's
there today,
gorgeous.
but we're about to do a little bit of a 180.
It is just insane. So we are anticipating some snow pushing in tonight. I really should say this afternoon. It's not going to accumulate all that much here in Denver, but it might slow your evening commute. And then tomorrow, another wave pushes in. By Friday, nothing but sunshine. The weekend looks fantastic.
Woo,
and then,
Tuesday.
I mean, beyond next week.
Wow.
Wow is right. April is looking real good in my book.
Spring's here. That is it for us. We'll see you at noon.